It is a very common mistake to buy your first bike solely based on its looks, because how a bike feels to ride matters way more than how it looks. Hi, my name is Tushar. I'm a motorcycle instructor teaching over 1,000 students each year. And one of the most commonly questioned that I get asked is, what motorcycle should I buy? And although there's no one size fits all answer to this, the reality is everyone's situation is different. Some riders may be more mature, some may have higher budget, and others are taller, and so on. So the perfect ideal bike depends on person to person. As for me, I started on CB300F. I rode that thing for 1 year, and here I am after 15 plus bikes with V-Strom 1050, BMW R90, Kawasaki ZX6R, Rally 250, and CB300R. So remember, your first bike is not going to be your last bike. In this video, I'm not going to explain you what motorcycle you should buy, but rather help you discover your own specific needs. So let's break it down together. The first thing to ask yourself is, what do I want to do with this bike? Commuting to work every day? Take long road trips? Maybe explore off-roading trails? Or quick thrilling ride around town? And maybe you want to mix things up, like have a motorcycle that is great for daily commuting, but can also handle occasional long trips. While no bike is perfect for everything, each type has its own strength and weaknesses. Sport bikes are great for short, exciting rides and sharp cornering. However, the aggressive riding position can be uncomfortable for long trips, often causing wrist and back pain. Cruisers and touring bikes are super comfortable for long highway rides. However, their low ground clearance limits cornering, and they aren't best suited for off-roading. Dual sport bikes have a mix of on-road and off-road capability. They aren't best at either, but can be great lightweight option for long-distance touring. Adventure bikes are built for long trips with some off-roading ability. However, their size and weight can make them tricky for daily city commuting. Naked bikes are light, agile, and versatile. Great for learning, commuting, and even occasional trips. Not the best for very long rides, but an excellent well-rounded option. That said, the bike can also do what it wasn't designed for. It's all about how you make it work. My first bike was a 300cc naked bike, and I rode that bike all across Canada. It did just fine. The bottom line, pick a motorcycle that fits your lifestyle and makes you excited to ride. Let's break it down even more in next section. How much do you want to spend on a bike? To be honest, you could get a solid beginner bike under 6,000. And I would recommend not to blow your budget on your first bike, because the whole point is to learn on it. And the drops are bound to happen, and it hurts a little less if you haven't spent too much money on it. Don't forget to factor in the insurance cost. It could vary widely depending on the bike that you purchase. So before you buy, make sure you do a call around for the insurance quotes. Always check before committing. It can save you a ton of money over long run. Watch this video if you would like to learn more about how to save on motorcycle insurances in Ontario. Also, set aside at least $1,000 for quality gear. Trust me, you don't want to cut corners here. Generally, bikes under 500 cc's are considered as beginner friendly. And if you're planning to buy a cruiser, that number could go up to 750cc and still be manageable. If you're just starting out, I would recommend to stick with single cylinder or two cylinder engines. Single cylinder engines are lighter, cheaper, easy to maintain and manage, which makes a great choice for a beginner. Two cylinder engines, on the other hand, creates a little bit more power and are much more smoother with lesser vibrations. So if you're planning to take that occasional long trip or maybe have a lot of highway riding, two cylinder engines would be a great choice for you. Once you move up to 3 cylinders or more, that's when the thing starts to get tricky. The bike becomes much more powerful, heavier, and a lot less forgiving, which means small mistakes have bigger consequences. And it's definitely not ideal if you're still in the learning phases. So if you're picking up your first bike, I would recommend to keep it very simple, lightweight, and manageable. This will help a lot with your confidence level. Should you buy a new or used bike? Both options have their pros and cons. Let's start with a new bike. Buying brand new means no wear and tear, a manufacturer warranty, and the latest tech. Plus, you know exactly what you're getting into. No previous accidents, no mystery mechanical issues, and you get to pick exact color, features, and accessories you want. But there's a downside. New bikes are expensive and lose value fast. The moment you ride it off the lot, depreciation kicks in. And don't forget the break-in period. New bikes needs to be ridden certain way for first few thousand kilometers. Plus, since they're worth more, they usually cost more to insure. Now, used bikes. That's where you get the most value for your money. With the same budget, you might be able to afford higher end model. Used bikes have already gone through break-in period, insurance is usually lower, and they don't depreciate as quickly, so reselling it later is much easier. But here's the risk. If you don't know what to look for, you could end up with hidden mechanical issues. No warranty means any repairs are on you, and you may have to compromise on things like color, model, or features. Maintenance history is another big unknown. You won't know how well the bike was taken care of unless the previous owner kept good records of it. There's a video if you would like to learn a process of transferring the ownership from a private seller. Now, if you want some peace of mind and don't want to pay the full price of a brand new motorcycle, there's a middle ground for you: buying a used bike from a dealership. A good dealership will inspect the motorcycle and fix any issues before they resell it to you. And a lot of them also offer a 30-day warranty. It does cost a little bit more than buying it from a private seller, but at least you have a place to go to if anything goes wrong. Most dealerships or private seller won't allow you to test ride, but you can always sit on it and see how it feels. See how the height feels when you take it off the kickstand. See how the weight feels when you lean the motorcycle from side to side. Now here's the key part with your height, your footing. Once you get the bike off the kickstand, can you touch both balls of your feet onto the ground? If that's the case, you're good to go. Don't stress if the bike feels a little taller at beginning, because most of these bikes can be lowered by an inch or two. I wouldn't recommend lowering any more than that because now you're messing up with the bike's engineering. Most important thing, confidence. If the bike feels right while you're sitting on it, and if you can manage its weight comfortably, you're on the right track. Features like traction control or rain mode is nice to have, but not necessarily on a small displacement bikes. A slipper clutch will make your downshifts much more smoother, but not a must-have. What is important though is ABS. Mistakes can happen, and in a panic situation, you might grab brakes harder than you should, potentially causing you to lose control. Having an ABS will help you to cover these mistakes. You want a bike that is low maintenance with affordable parts and repairs. Because let's be real, you should be spending more time riding it than constantly fixing it. European bikes are absolutely stunning and they make one of the most beautiful machines that are out there. However, they often come with the higher repair bills and expensive parts. If you want something rock solid with low maintenance, you cannot really go wrong with big 4 Japanese brands. They've been in the game for decades now, and their reputation for reliability speaks for itself. Whatever bike you decide to buy, avoid buying a project bike at all cost. I know too many people who ended up buying a project bike and they're never able to finish the project, and it stayed a project. Unless you have some sort of mechanical background, I would not recommend it, especially as your first bike. For most people, the best first bike is going to be the one that fits in your budget, riding style, height, and weight. It's not necessary that you have to fall in love with right away, because the whole point is to learn on it. Once you have the skill, you can always upgrade to your dream bike. I'm sure you'll make the right choice for you. Thanks for watching.